WTF! Welcome to Florida. I'm Sarah White, and my speech today, You're a Victim of Crime in Florida, What Now?, is near and dear to my heart. I'm a travel writer coming to you from the lovely Palmetto Inn in Clay County, Florida. My work as a travel writer has me interested in this topic, but in addition, I am a Florida woman as well as a crime survivor. Every year, millions of tourists visit Florida for our sparkling award-winning beaches, our 5 cruise ports, our famous, enormous theme parks, our wonderful convention centers, including the largest convention center in North America, the Orange County Convention Center, as well as many other destinations, such as our resorts, spas, and several other attractions. The majority of our travelers leave happier than when they come. However, as I say, 98% of rat poison is sugar. It's that 2% you have to watch out for. So what do you do when you are part of the unhappy minority who falls prey to some of Florida's worst in a credit card scam, a carjacking, or unfortunately, an assault crime or other violent incident? My speech, the 4 R's, will help you if you become a victim of a violent crime. I've spoken to dozens of crime survivors like myself, and these are some tips that we wish we had known when this happened to us. In addition, I have spoken to crime researchers, persons who work in forensic fields, and attorneys. Now, this speech does not substitute for professional legal advice. In addition, this is very Florida specific, and while you may find that this will help you in your own jurisdiction or country, be sure that you adjust this to some of your needs locally. Your first priorities during a crime are to escape or defend yourself. So be sure that you do these things before employing the 4 R's. And those will be report, record, rights, and represent. First, report. In the United States, we call 911. Of course, before you come to Florida, you'll want to make sure that you bring a cell phone, and you'll want to make sure that that is compatible with Florida. That's usually not too difficult, and if you don't have one, purchasing a burner phone is quite simple. Now, if you are a victim of a crime, dial 911 immediately. This will not only summon law enforcement, but you will also summon emergency help if you need to go to an emergency room. If you have a concern regarding insurance coverage, which can be a case if you're an international traveler, go to the ER anyway for medical care. If you wait until you return to your country or to your state, if you're underinsured, your legal case will be jeopardized. Seek medical care immediately in that case. In addition, record everything. A mistake that a lot of crime victims make is they say, if only I had recorded that, because they're very often gaslit or doubted as to some details, or because they don't remember a specific detail that is not actually highly relevant to the crime at hand, they are doubted about whether the crime took place at all. Record everything you can as soon as you can, even if the exact crime has ended. It's never too late. Record your immediate injuries, broken debris or glass, any objects, your and the assailant's post-actions and departures, the clothes worn. Look for signs of weapons on this suspect, even if a weapon was not used, because that can have the charges elevated to an aggravated crime. Witnesses. You may need to prove who was there. Alternatively, you may need to prove who wasn't there. Yes, sometimes people will come out of the woodwork and claim that they were there and what you say happened didn't happen. Conditions of the crime: daylight, weather, ground conditions. You'll be asked about these things by the defense, by the prosecutor, law enforcement. And if you don't recall these things, sometimes this can jeopardize your case. Having this on video can also help jog your memory regarding the specific crime, and this can be helpful to yourself as well. Trauma can sometimes jeopardize your memory as well, so this can be helpful for you. Record your 911 calls and all of your interactions with law enforcement and the courts. Sometimes this can be helpful because sometimes in dealing with law enforcement and courts, you'll get 10 stories from 10 people about filling out forms or what you're supposed to do or criminal dates. Next, your rights. Know them in Florida. Florida has what's known as Marsy's Law. M-A-R-S-Y''S. Did you know that in Florida you can have your name and your information redacted from your report? This means that people cannot see your name and your address and your date of birth. Now, if you're reporting your crime around the theme park area in Central Florida, that will be in the 9th Circuit. Bless your heart. They have the worst record of actually bothering to redact. So you will need to check the Orange County website the following day to see if they actually did redact. And then you will need to call the call center and be ignored by them. And you'll need to follow some other procedures to actually get that redacted. Good luck with that. But you can eventually have that happen. Marsy's Law, be sure to follow that. Be sure to look at other procedures and other rights available to you for victims' rights in Florida. They are actually quite strong, and in addition to Marsy's Law, there are other victims' rights statutes. Know them, have them enforced. They are actually quite good. Representation. In Florida, the prosecutor is the state's attorney, not the victims. Know the difference. To have the best advocacy in Florida, you either need to hire your own attorney or spend a lot of time acting as your own. The victim's liaison is there to corral victims, not to care about them. If you need help or counseling or other services for post-traumatic symptoms, it's available to you from the community, but not from the courts. Call 311 or your physician to get that care. Always remember to take care of yourself. You've been through some difficulty, and it's normal to need that help. Don't be afraid to reach out for it. And remember, you're doing a good thing, protecting yourself, protecting the community, and like Tom Petty says, don't back down. Now just remember, have that phone ready and practice it. Swipe that video feature, and welcome to Florida.